It's quite some lineup, isn't it? When Joseph Assaf arrived in Australia, literally in someone else's shoes, opened his own empty suitcase and began to put together this particular dream, I bet he never imagined it could be quite so successful. Or perhaps he did, because Joseph is one of those people who sees no barriers between imagining success and grabbing it with both hands. It's my great pleasure to introduce to you the founder, chairman and a major sponsor of the Ethnic Business Awards, the leader of a dedicated team which puts this together every year, himself an immigrant from Lebanon, a business achiever and published author, champion of multiculturalism in Australia, a man who's dubbed every migrant a mini economic stimulus package. Isn't that a terrific quote? Please welcome to the stage my friend, Mr. Joseph Assaf.
Thank you, Tracy. You are so kind and a great host of these awards. Good evening. And to the Prime Minister, Ms. Julia Gillard, the Leader of the Opposition, Sir Tony Abbott, heads and representatives of diplomatic missions represented here tonight, honourable members, senators, ministers, esteemed judges, valued sponsors, members of the media, guests, and of course our finalists tonight. To all of you, a very warm welcome. Let me first thank all of our judges for the wonderful work they do every year. A big thank you also to our growing list of sponsors, founding partners, major sponsors, large, small, old, and new. Yes, I am, as Tracy said, an immigrant. And yes, I do believe that an empty suitcase has more room for dreams. And yes, I have described every migrant as being a mini economic stimulus package, because migrants bring to their new home their own market requirements, their own needs, and their own ability to service those needs. So yes, I do believe that multiculturalism is alive and well in the business world here in Australia. Our sponsors also believe it, because they have all, in their various ways, recognized the importance of diversity. They have realized that intelligent and creative management of diversity brings social, economic, artistic, and political progress. It also makes our workplace highly productive. All of our finalists tonight have faced a myriad of different challenges. They have had to build their own networks, find their own pathways to success, and then, with each success under their belts, plan and execute the next step and overcome the next challenge. Drawn from over 500 nominations, which came from all the states and territories and represented a huge diversity of businesses, races, cultural backgrounds, religions, and languages, these finalists, both indigenous and migrants, collectively epitomize the notion that excellence is the child of diversity. I congratulate each and every one of them on their enterprise. Every one of them, indeed, every nominee is a winner. But the biggest winner of all is Australia, which has been enriched by their contribution to our business soundscape. And what an increasingly rich soundscape it is becoming. Our land, it seems, abounds not only in nature's gifts, but in the gifts of many nations and cultures working in and for harmony. The business of supporting multiculturalism is very good business indeed, because multiculturalism is not a passing fancy. It's not a hobby. It's not a government policy or a nice thing to do, or a marketing opportunity. Equally, diversity is not a choice, it's not an option, or a public relations exercise, or an employee relations program. In Australia, diversity is a fact of life, and multiculturalism is a way of life. Without diversity, there can be no harmony, because harmony is the coordination of differences, while monotony is the absence of differences. Our differences cannot be managed or productively harnessed without tolerance and the respect of a freedom, because in true harmony, every voice, every note, every color, every contribution has its place, and that place must be recognized. Diversity must include every culture and exclude none, which is why the contribution of the earliest migrants, the very first settlers, the indigenous Australian, is now a part of this symphony. Without that well-conducted symphony of differences, we would have not harmony, but discord, or just as bad, monotony, and all the things that implies status, lack of inspiration, lack of growth, lack of excitement. Personally, I am all for the noisy, complicated, exciting symphony, where everything is included and nothing is left out. The principles of tolerance and freedom I mentioned also happen to be some of the fundamentals of democracy. They are the things that a true democracy aims for. At its best, it coordinates its differences, harnesses them for the greatest good, and enjoys and celebrates the outcomes. It's very encouraging then for me to see tonight two of our leading maestros living out this notion by example, sharing a table at this event, sharing in not just the celebration, but in food, conversation, the acknowledgement and acceptance of the common ground offered, this hospitality, and the need to set aside political differences in support of a shared ideal. Prime Minister, Prime Minister, Leader of the Opposition, Julia, Tony, welcome to my table. Ahlan wa sahlan. Welcome to my house of diversity. Next year, on our 25th anniversary, I believe we will be doing this at your house in the Parliament. And to celebrate that quarter-century milestone, we will be bringing back the top 12 finalists selected from the winners and finalists of all those years, and we will be choosing the champion of champions. Our celebration also happens to coincide with Canberra's centennial celebration, the beginning of another 100 years of democracy, and hopefully of harmony, of increasingly productive diversity, and more of the wonderful and inspiring stories like the ones you will hear tonight. Our finalists don't need me to wish them luck. They brought their own luck to the lucky country. Let us enjoy it together. Thank you and good evening.